So I need to talk about what Google just did because I genuinely cannot stop thinking about it, and I think most people completely missed what actually happened at Google I/O last week. Like on the surface, it looks like just another tech conference where they announce a bunch of AI stuff and everyone claps. But if you actually look at what they announced, Google just built the most comprehensive personal surveillance system ever deployed to regular people, and they are calling it a search engine upgrade. They rolled out something called Gemini 3.5 Flash as the new brain behind Google search, and they are bragging that their AI mode has already crossed 1 billion monthly users. 1 billion people being funneled into a system that monitors, scrapes, and synthesizes everything they do online. And the thing that actually gets me is the framing. They stood on stage and presented this like it is a gift, like they are doing you a favor. Like having an AI read your emails and track your searches and run in the background of your life 24/7 is something you should be excited about. It makes me genuinely sick watching people applaud it, because what they actually built is a cage, and the cage has been under construction for 20 years without most people noticing. So, to understand why Google is so willing to blow up the internet experience that literally built them, you have to look at the money. In Q1 2026 alone, Alphabet made over 109 billion in revenue, and the biggest single chunk of that, $60.4 billion in one quarter, came from search advertising. So they are terrified, not of losing users, of losing the ad revenue that comes from being the thing everyone uses to find everything. And instead of just making search actually better, they decided to stuff Gemini 3.5 Flash into the search box and call it the biggest upgrade in 25 years. And here is what that actually means in practice. Let's say you are playing a game and you need some information, so you Google it. Instead of sending you to, for example, a fan forum or wiki page where some person spent 3 hours figuring it out and writing it up, Google just rips the information directly off that page, slaps it in an AI overview at the top of your screen, and that website gets zero traffic. The person who wrote that guide gets nothing. And Google does this millions of times a day across every topic imaginable, slowly draining the traffic and the revenue from every independent creator and small website that the open internet was actually built on. And the really insane part is that sometimes the AI overview is just wrong. It is pulling from a year-old Reddit post, mixing it with something else, and confidently giving you an answer that is hallucinated garbage. But it looks authoritative, so most people just take it and move on. They are killing the human internet and replacing it with a machine that makes stuff up. So, okay, the search stuff is bad, but the part that actually made my jaw drop is what they announced with Gemini Spark. Because this is not a search feature, this is a 24/7 AI agent that runs constantly on Google's own servers in the background, not when you open Google, all the time, while you are asleep, while you are at work, always running. And Gemini Spark has access to your Gmail, your Google Calendar, your Google Docs, everything. It reads your emails, it looks at your schedule, it knows your plans, and it takes actions on your behalf. Like, it can actually do things in your accounts without you actively telling it to right now. And Google stood on stage and presented this like it is the most helpful thing they have ever built. Like having a corporate AI agent living inside your inbox, reading everything you have ever written, is just a normal productivity feature that you should be grateful for. I genuinely do not know how to explain to someone how terrifying this is if they are not already feeling it. Because what they have built is a psychological profile of you that is more detailed than anything a government surveillance program has ever collected. Your emails, your searches, your calendar, your documents, your photos, your contacts, all of it feeding one system, running constantly. And if a government ever demands access to that data, Google has already done all the work of collecting it and organizing it and keeping it on their servers. And look, I know what a lot of people are probably going to say. Just switch. Use DuckDuckGo, use Firefox, use a different email. And yeah, those things exist and they genuinely work. But here's the question I actually want you to sit with. How many of the billion people using Google AI mode right now are switching this week? Because Google understood something that I do not think most people give them enough credit for. They spent 20 years making everything free. Gmail free, Google Drive free, Google Photos free, Google Docs free, Google Calendar free, all of it free. Not because they are generous, but because they were building a cage that will close after putting pretty much your entire damn life in it. Your email history going back years, every photo you have ever taken, every document you have ever written, every search you have ever made, all of it is in there. And Gemini Spark now has access to all of it, running on their servers, whether your phone is in your hand or sitting on your nightstand at 2 in the morning. The honest conversation is not really about whether you personally can leave, like you guys are smart, you probably can. The honest conversation is about what it means that a billion people already cannot, because that is who Google actually designed this for. Not the person watching this video who is already thinking about privacy, but the person who opened Gmail this morning like they do every morning without thinking about it. And the thing that sticks with me is how normal they made it all sound. Like a 24/7 AI agent reading your emails and running in your accounts overnight got announced between a class and gaming features. That is the move. That is always the move with these announcements. Bury the terrifying thing between two things that sound helpful and convenient. Because if they just came out and said, hey, we built an AI that reads all your emails and runs in your accounts while you sleep and has access to your entire decade of digital history and everything you have ever searched for, people would lose their minds. But if they say, hey, Gemini Spark can help you stay on top of your inbox and never miss an important meeting, and by the way, here is a cool pottery class finder, it all just slides past. And I think about the specific people this is going to affect most, and it is not the tech people. It is not the people who already know what an AI overview is. It is the person who uses Google because it was always just there. The person who never set up a separate email because Gmail was free and easy in 2008, aka my parents. The person who has 18 years of their life, their career, their relationships, their medical questions, their personal problems, like just everything about them, all searchable in one inbox that a 24/7 AI agent is now reading and synthesizing and acting on. The web you used 10 years ago sent you to real people who wrote real things. What Google announced last week is a system where an AI that has read your entire email history decides what you need to know, serves it to you without sending you anywhere, and runs inside your accounts overnight doing things on your behalf. And most people are going to accept it the same way they accepted every step before this. Because Google made the last step feel normal before the next step arrived. And it's the slowest and most effective trap ever built. And the thing it trapped is not just your data, it is your trust. It is the assumption that a product this embedded in your daily life must have your interests at heart. Google search used to work for you, but based on recent announcements, it now works for Google. And there is a difference. Anyways, that's it for this video. Drop a comment if you want, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.